Welcome everyone to episode 32 of the Phoenix Report. I'm Jack Connor. My guest today is an artist who I've had the distinct pleasure of playing several shows with. You know, she's one of the more unique artists I've come across in all my years of doing this. She's based out of the Central Florida area, and I've talked about this person a couple of episodes ago, on episode 27 to be exact, when I interviewed her wonderful lead guitar player, Bobby Keller. And I've mentioned her and her band several times, you know, talking about this documentary that was filmed with Alicorp Productions. It hasn't come out yet. It's been a little bit repurposed in recent months. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. But she and her band have just been absolutely killing it here in the Orlando area, and have been touring and doing a lot of big things, and definitely making some noise in more ways than one. They're grabbing a lot of people's attention. They've played everywhere from the House of Blues, small clubs. She and her band have opened up for a lot of different artists, ranging from just large, bigger names in rock music today, to even lowly bands like Vertebraker and everything in between. And but yeah, she's an absolutely cool person, and it's interesting because we've crossed paths several times. Always had but again, I don't really know a lot about her backstory. And,
no.
And so I'm curious to get to know her more. And I'm glad that you guys are here listening, joining in, and kind of getting a window into this. So I'm just going to go ahead and welcome her to the show. Please welcome Meka Nism.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
How you doing,
Jack?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing great.
I'm doing good. Right now we're doing a remote Skype call. You're over at the convention center here in Orange?
Yeah, in Orange County.
What are you doing over there?
I'm getting ready for Spooky Empire.
That's right.
Yeah, have you ever been to Spooky Empire?
No, I haven't. Now, I mean, as I understand, Spooky Empire is sort of like a Comic-Con for like horror movies and sort of things relating to that, and also transcends into like other pop culture stuff. You'll get celebrities who might not necessarily be in there they might not be known for being in horror movies, but they happen to be there. Various different celebrities, but it's mainly horror focused. Would that be an accurate description?
Absolutely. Of course, there's a bunch of celebrities that are going to be here this weekend, including the cast from Stranger Things, the one and only magnificent Elvira, who are actually going to be releasing a coffee with the same company as Elvira.
Wow.
And then a crazy random Weird Al Yankovic is going to be here.
I mean, Weird Al never needs a reason to be there. I mean, he's just awesome.
I agree.
So that's pretty cool. So now, as I understand, you and Bobby and Jarrett, not to be confused with the Jarrett in my band, but your bass player, Jarrett.
Yes.
Now, you guys are doing a meet and greet there, or going to the table?
We're doing a meet and greet.
How did that all come about?
I have a friend who's an artist and a fan of Meka Nism, and she makes creature art, and she's always wanted to make creature art for me, and she really wanted to launch her career, and her idea was have a Meka Nism like meet and greet when I'm wearing her creatures and playing around and having a good time, and make it just a very inviting experience. She's like, the perfect energy for her debut would be to have Meka Nism there, and I was like, absolutely, we will definitely be there. We will do meet and greets, and so we have some scheduled times at her booth, which is 218, I believe.
Wow, so that's
Mel's
cool.
Creature booth.
So you were able to, I guess, so she was kind of your way in as far as that. She was like, I've got to get you guys on here. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just how it works. That's how everything works.
That's super cool. That's really cool, and that's going to be a great way to promote your music there and to promote the band and all that.
And I've never been to Spooky Empire, so it was just, that sounded cool to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, there'll probably be a lot of people there who might be like, a Meka Nism, what is that? Is that a band, or is that, are they a movie? I can't tell what it is, but they might go and check it out. And
well,
like,
yeah.
That might be
I saw
their
a bunch
way
of
in.
people. I mean, it's such a small town, Orlando. Even walking in, we just played with a band called Huntress down in the West Palm area.
That's right.
And some guy was wearing a Huntress shirt, and I was like, oh yeah, Huntress. He's like, yeah, I just saw you play with them. I'm like, yeah, totally. So it's like even just walking in and seeing the people and the different it's such a small town. You know, we know this, the artistic community, the musician
Look
community.
at you guys hitting the big time already.
Life is the big time. I mean,
Well,
we're always all in it.
it doesn't surprise me with Bobby, with all his, his world famous horror collection. You probably heard the one I did. He's like telling me stories about him hanging out with Kirk Hammett and all this other stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the Reels Movie Network did a whole Halloween episode on his horror movie collection, and they filmed the band playing, and that was a blast. Our week on reality television.
Right. Well, Bobby's going to feel right at home with all that horror memorabilia over there. He might think he's at his house for some reason.
Yeah, he's stoked. It's definitely his territory of existence.
Very cool.
For sure.
And that's we're recording this on Thursday, December 1st right now. Is that going on this weekend?
It is. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's Friday evening. We might even miss it with the radio show. But and then Saturday we officially are doing signings at 1, 3, and 5 o'clock. And then maybe have some time on Sunday, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. Other conventions and the Orlando Renaissance Festival that I have to make an appearance at. I actually have a show Saturday night for Matt and Cammie's wedding anniversary at the Haven.
Very cool. Very cool.
And but I have to go see the B-52s before my set, because Fred, who's also has that coffee company, that he's good friends with Elvira. Fred from the B-52s.
Yeah.
He's good friends with Elvira. Mechanism, I mean, that's not even completely, I mean, it's in the works, but it's not released yet. So we'll be able to talk about that later. But, so I hope to catch a little bit. I've never seen the B-52s live.
Wow. But
jump over and try to go see Fred in the B-52s before I have to go play my own set at the Haven, which will be exciting with some old friends. I think Endorphin is making an appearance, and Garumel and different people. If you're a classic Orlando person.
I had a feeling we would be talking about a lot of different things, a lot of artists. The B-52s I did not imagine would be in this conversation. Nothing against them.
Hey,
that's
good people.
That's cool. Yeah, but
good people.
Look at you, rubbing elbows with Fred from the B-52s and Elvira. Look at that.
That's not expected, huh, from a metal chick.
Right? You're making your way up in the world.
Oh, they're great people. I think Fred's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Cool.
I did some stuff with him, and he was just so supportive of everybody, and he's so loving. I think he's just getting a house here in the Central Florida area.
Really?
He mostly lives in New York, but I think he's doing a part-time settle down in our lovely neck of the woods.
Very cool.
So you'll probably hear more from him anyway. Him being around.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild. I mean, you never know who you're going to see at a Mechanism show. Apparently, maybe they might show up to see you guys play.
There you go. You never know.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I mean, you've got a lot of stuff going on right now locally. I've seen a lot of touring. I've heard a lot of rumbling about different plans you guys have, probably going into the new year, into 2017.
Totally.
Let's go back a little bit, because I mean, like I said, you and I have met several times,
Yes.
just from playing around. But I think everyone wants to know, who is Mechanism? Like, where are you from? Orlando originally? Like, give me a little backstory here.
Wow. Where to start? I was born in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
And in high school, I went from one art high school to another. So I came here for performing arts program at Dr. Phillips, and I'm definitely I love the Orlando community, so it's definitely got to see a lot of different aspects of it. Started in a punk band called Dirty Barby, and did Angel Autopsy, and did Mechanism and Rusty Tears, and different projects. Always done my solo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I moved to Japan for a few years after graduating from UCF.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Now that's interesting. How did you end up in Japan? It says you moved there in. I'm trying to read the bio. Was it 2007 or was it?
Yeah, 2007.
Okay, it was 2000. It was 2010 when you came back from Japan.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So how did that all happen? You going into Japan, you just decide one day I'm just going to pack up and move over there, or?
Kinda. I mean, I was at Stardust Coffee, and I just had an inspiration that I should move to Japan for some reason. I didn't know much about the country, but obviously it's beautiful and cool. And I was just finishing my acoustic album, Mad to Love, for my solo projects, Mechanism and Rusty Tears. I had Florizel Dennis on saxophone and different horns, and some other amazing musicians guest on that. But Florizel and I did that for a long time, and just finishing up that album with Hidden Records. And then I was like, man, I should go to Japan because I really wanted to meet crazy musicians, you know?
Right.
And so I wanted to meet crazy musicians and have different experiences. So I went to Japan. I got a job teaching English. Somebody there, when I was at the Stardust Coffee, they said, yeah, like I taught English in Japan for a couple years. Go here.
Did you speak Japanese at all going into it?
No. I mean, I took a couple week course on some business Japanese. So I knew how to say, hello, what's your phone number? You know,
thank you very much. You know, arigato gozaimasu, you know, that sort of thing.
The basics. Hi, yeah. And I just kind of went over there blind, and just went over to Japan. Met a really great bass player named Yukari Aikeda. I just got back from her wedding now. I just went and saw her. And we played solo at first. She was bass player, singer. I'm guitar player, singer. And then we started a group called Origami Girls.
That's right.
Which was awesome. Got some videos. I made a zombie movie. And we have like a Zombie Girls music video. We did some television appearances. We won some Battle of the Bands and did some like Kobe festivals and different things. And then her pop career was taken off. And so I got a job offer in Germany. So I left because I was doing a lot of performance art with a theater company in Osaka, playing with like Keith Richards, half Japanese sung Hako-san. He has a bar called Ing. And then I did a whole bunch of performance art with Christopher Fryman and different people. I did weird opera and Buto dance with Ima Tenko-san and Caitlin Coker and different people doing really cool stuff. Started an album with Hide from Ultra B-Day, which just finished the album, just going over to Japan with Cross a couple weeks ago. We just got back from Japan just before the Kink Festival.
That's right. You had a little reunion over there with the Origami Girls and all that. So that's really cool. I've never been to Japan, but I've always wanted to go there just because it seems like it's another planet over there. Like there's so much. There's a lot of cool stuff happening over there, but they also embrace. It seems like they embrace the Western culture. They embrace like rock music quite a bit over there. From what I've heard, I mean, I've heard stories about my favorite bands going over there and just being huge and that sort of thing. So it's kind of cool that you had a little bit of success over there. You said some TV appearances, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of cool stuff.
Oh yeah, I played over 150 shows over there. Everybody's asking for Meka Nism like crazy. All the promoters all over Japan. I just need to do it right. I mean, we could definitely go over and tour Japan. We're working for a tour next year, so hopefully next fall or the following spring. We get a solid Meka Nism tour, but I want to do it right, and I want to really enjoy it. And it's hard bringing over a lot of people, and all of our friends want to go too.
Sure.
So it's definitely going to be some organizational skills, but we should be hitting Japan. And Jeremiah Bennett just got back from an Australian tour, and he's in our band now, which is perfect.
That's right.
So I was like, do Japan and Australia.
Born from Ashes, was that the band he was in before?
Yeah, that was his band. That was his Orlando band before.
That's right. Actually, he and I, this is before I was in Vertebreaker. I was in another band called Impatient Nation years ago, and he and I,
cool.
we ended up playing a show together, and at like the Haven like years ago. I think it was like 2010 or 2011 or something. So yeah. Jeremiah and I go way back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a good community. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I had heard that he had recently joined the band, so it was kind of cool meeting up with him again.
Badass.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Going and touring Japan, that's like the stuff dreams are made of right there. And and what was Jeremiah doing in Australia?
He was on tour with an international band, obviously.
Really?
And so he's got, he said that they love female-fronted metal bands over there, which I knew. Obviously, I want to change the face of what, the female-fronted metal bands are doing, because I love what they're doing already, but I think we have something new to offer. And I really want to get it out there.
Absolutely. I mean, you're very theatrical in your approach. You don't sound or look like anybody else I've ever seen, guy or girl. I mean,
Thanks.
you really have a unique thing going on, and I can see how that would translate to Japan, where it's not like all about like, oh, it's just some white chick up here doing her thing. It's you actually become somebody else. when you get up there, and I like it. I've actually,
It's true.
I'm sure I've probably hit you up on some makeup tips every now and then. I've been known
Nice.
to dabble in that. But I mean,
Heck yeah.
the point of all that is, I mean, I know personally, I've always been attracted to the more theatricality in music.
Which is what we love about you.
Exactly. No, I mean, I believe in putting on a show. Like there's I mean, not that there's anything wrong with going on stage looking like you just walked off the street, but personally,
if that's your thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, me
if that
personally,
works.
I mean, I like that larger than life quality, and just, and I'm
We agree on that, Jack. Totally.
definitely, and I can tell that, and I mean, you embody that more than anyone else around here. So I think I could see how that would translate huge to a Japanese audience. Plus, you have that history there.
Yeah, I mean, and putting on a show, like, I study shamanism, and I try to set the intention to bring energy forth. Like, that's a gift to each other. Like, putting on a good show, like, doing your best at anything is not only a gift to yourself, but it's a gift to everyone around you. Like, I love people who do well at art. I mean, that's a gift to my eyes, So even though, like, there's always growth, I have a long way to go before I really make exactly the music I want to make, but all of it is a gift. If you bring as much energy and love forward into everything you do, it's a gift to everyone else around you. And it makes the world a brighter place. If you're going to be like the best screamer on the planet, like, you give the gift of like that.
Sure.
And you do it, So I do appreciate the theatrics, I love it when you go on stage and you have makeup. A guy in makeup is hot. Hey.
Well,
It makes,
I've had to ramp that back a little bit. Some of the other guys in the band are like, yeah, it's a little too much. So
there's always someone's going to say that.
I don't quite go full force with it, but I mean, obviously, I grew up a Kiss fan, and it shows. But
you would do well in Japan then, because they're not macho over here. They're not afraid of themselves. Like the perfectly, and they're not afraid that they don't have the same stigma of like it makes you less of a man to be beautiful. Or less of a woman to be beautiful, because we had that same problem. Like, I've had that issue on my end. Like, people are like, oh, you're just a girl. You're just, you're just up there because you're a girl. Like, you don't have any talent. I'm like, well, watch out. Let me show you. But I used to deal with that, when I was younger. I mean, being a guitar player too, I do play instruments. They're like, oh, it's nice that, guys write songs for you. I'm like, well, actually, I am a musician.
I mean, that's so weird that sort of thing still happens today. I mean, I guess maybe that was a few years ago when you were younger, but I mean, but even today, it just seems like odd that sort of thing still happens in 2016. But
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's always going to be somebody. I mean, look at any internet comment section. There's going to be stuff like that. You know how it is.
But even like, I mean, we are in a really, really good time period. But even you are, being like, hey, tone down the makeup. If you saw the dudes in Japan, have you ever seen Visual K Music? All of the dudes in Japan are wearing makeup. Like, that's what they do.
Right.
Unless it's their thing to not do it, but that's what they do. And it makes them more of a man. And, so, I mean, it's a cultural thing.
Well, I mean, and it's also keeping the peace in the band sort of thing. So it's all about finding that balance. You know how that goes. So, but
and I dealt with that. I had definitely the macho pushback of like,
By the way, I've been called a lot of things in my life. Beautiful is not one of them. So thank you for that. Oh, but hey, this isn't about me though. This is about what you guys are doing, and I think it's really cool because not only that you get that visual element, but musically and sonically, it's a different thing. Because I've noticed, and just from one singer to another, the fact that you go from like these like very like operatic, classically trained passages to like the most deep guttural scream, it's a little bit jarring at first, but like once you kind of get used to it. It's like, oh wow, this is like some next level stuff going on here. You don't really hear a lot of that from anybody having mixing those two worlds.
Right, it's true. I mean, I think all my favorite voices, male or female or otherwise, have always been from people who just really bring some sort of new energy forward, and I don't sing like anybody else in the world, so I might as well not try to sing like anybody else in the world. I might as well try to sing like me, and that's what comes out of me. I'm really lucky because I can be very loud in a lot of different ways, and I can also be very gentle, which I think is just as powerful in a lot of ways. but I do bring my own unique voice forward and just let it be free and let it do what it wants to do. And sometimes it's terrifying, and sometimes it's, enchanting and different things, but it's just a fun to allow, instead of force. And I'm really lucky that I'm not just trying to, emulate someone, though,
Sure.
Though I, can sing like Janis Joplin, or I used to, like, I was 13, I'd be like
Sure.
all about singing just like Janis Joplin, and that, I'm sure that taught me a lot and stretched my voice a lot.
Was Janis like an early influence of yours?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool.
Janis Joplin was, my dad played me Janis Joplin records when I was a kid, and, said that, that was music right there. And this is how you listen to rock and roll, is like full blast. And I went from like a theater kid to...
She was certainly someone who kind of broke the mold of what a female artist should have been at that time. So, I mean, I could definitely see why that would have... I mean, that's resonated with young girls for, generations since then.
And not just girls. I mean, like, I don't mind being the female that's doing something different, but like I've seen... it's not music. That music spoke to my dad, and
Sure.
my dad is who I respect.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad is not a very, he's a very strong person. So for him to have the compassion to listen to someone sing the blues and be like, this is genuine and authentic, and to see male figures, like, to say, hey, this is relatable. This is music from the heart. When that's not something that they typically talk about, I really think that that's the voice for all of us. And
Sure.
it's not even a gender thing, though I deal with a lot of gender things, of course.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's, it's one of those things where it's like, I know one of my favorite singers, period, is Ann Wilson from Heart.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And
Great vocalist, yeah.
People say like, oh, she's one of the greatest female voices in rock. I'm like, she's one of the greatest voices in rock.
Voices
period.
in rock, yeah. I mean, we deal with that. I mean, like, I don't
Sure.
know how to feel about that. I'm open. I don't ever decide my beliefs. I'm open to constantly letting my beliefs be fluid, so that I never become, rigid in my ways or in my heart. But I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't mind. Being told I'm good for being a girl, or like being, oh, great female vocalist. I'm like, I would though, like us all to be like, see each other, in new ways.
Sure.
And I'm definitely seen as a female, because I am. That's cool. I don't mind.
A compliment is a compliment, it's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
And I never take offense, but it does make me curious, just asking questions to, what does that mean? Like, what is and I don't judge it as being above or below of a compliment, but just what does that mean? What does that carry culturally of where we are? Where is our mind? So I love it. I love being, a female fronted metal band.
Man, we're getting like deep into sociological issues right now. It's
if
amazing.
you're going to have a conversation with me, it's always going to be like that. I
Of
can't
course.
help it. I don't know why.
Of course, of
but-
course. What does Dad think of the band?
Oh, he loves it. He's
Nice.
extremely supportive. He's been supportive.
Shout out to
even
Papa Nism, I guess, whatever.
Oh
you
yeah,
call him.
I've got a great family. They're very supportive. I think I believed in myself because my dad doesn't really show a lot of interest in a lot of art. My mom does. My mom was a theater person, and she showed a lot of interest in a lot of different things. But my dad showed interest in Janis Joplin, and then played it for me, and then said that my music was, even before Meka Nism, he's like, yeah, this is real. This is good. So I think having those, he's a hard critic, believe it or not. Like he doesn't say nice things about everything. It's not like,
parents are
he's
like
just saying
that.
it. Yeah, which is good because I'm tough. But, when he said my music was good at all, then I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then my parents were at Kink Fest.
Nice.
With my Uncle Marshall, it's like
Awesome.
my family's there. The only reason my brother and sister-in-law weren't is because they just had a baby the day before.
Understandable.
So we now have, I'm an aunt.
Aw.
An aunt. Oh yeah.
Very
I love
cool.
that baby. What a beautiful, beautiful, creature, being,
Yes.
human thing that it is, making this world
Organism,
awesome.
Whatever.
Totally.
Yeah, that's super cool though. It sounds like you got a good support system as far as that goes. I've seen you mention a couple other things. As far as even going beyond music, you mentioned that you believe in shamanism and you practice shamanism.
I study, yeah.
I don't know what shamanism is. I'll just be completely honest with you. What can you tell us about that, and how does that affect who you are and what you do musically?
Well, shamanism is not a belief system or a religion. It's just a practice of energy healing that has existed in all cultures throughout time in some form or another. So it's pretty much the connection of understanding your spiritual health in relation to your physical, mental, and otherwise. It's just having a sense of the energies around us, the energies inside of us, the energies in the universe, the relationship to our being involved in all of that. Right now, I'm just studying like the making a medicine bag in the Peruvian tradition called mesa, and then we start studying some black sky, white sky, Siberian shamanism. I say it. I know people don't know what it is, but it's nothing in particular other than everything else that you know.
Yeah, I mean, so, it sounds like it's, it sounds like, for lack of a better term, it kind of keeps you centered, kind of keeps you kind of focused on things, and it brings you peace of mind, and that's not a bad thing.
And it's amazing what everything, if you have a healing intention towards yourself and others, it's amazing how much happier things can be, or how much more centered, or how much clearer, and having intentions towards everything. It's like you get more connected to your life and others' lives, and the connection of all of us.
Sure.
Because even just, having relationship with the moon, having relationship with crystals, or having a relationship with your experiences and what they do to affect your spirit, and that not conflicting with any religion, because a shaman can be any religion but still be an energy healer. There's Reiki, there's yoga, there's Buddhism, there's any type of energy healing in any culture. Mm-hmm. And science is actually catching up to be able to measure those things and their authenticity and validity. So it's cool to learn it on a spiritual level, and to know that science is able to say, hey, yeah, that actually works. That's helping people. Because that changes the energy field in a person, and we are way more powerful than we've been led to believe, not by anyone's fault, but we think of ourselves as very one-dimensional creatures of existence, when we're quite a multitude of fascinating, beautiful existence, which is timeless and boundless and infinite, and we are the creators of our universe. Anything we imagine or participate in exists, so might as well be in control of that, or be at least aware of that.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's interesting that there's such a thing about it, as far as you find it in different cultures, and I mean, look, there's a big world out there, so why not? So that's really cool. Does that stuff ever work its way into your lyrics?
All the time. Oh, obviously, constantly. Mouth of God is directly. I was reading a book, though my teacher would be like, "Don't just read, anthropological college textbooks. Go out and learn from people who are doing healings, and watch people play drums and dance and do different things." But I was reading a book on anthropology just to learn about shamans of different cultures throughout time. And I just did a meditation and a vision about what it is, and just really got inspired by different ceremonies and the different planes of existence that they talk about going to. And I just wrote a song about a shamanic healing, and it's called Mouth of God. Mouth of God is actually kamikuchi. Kamikuchi is a Japanese word meaning mouth and God, which were the female shamans of Japan who heal through divine speaking.
Wow.
So that relates to singers, right? Mm-hmm. I think singing, if you sing from the heart, you're singing from spirit, something that's bigger than ourselves. Mm-hmm. And we're all like these voices of infinity. And it just expands the intention and power of our own voice to speak from something other than ourselves. And I was really inspired by that. Obviously, they're female shamans of Japan, so that related to me, but reading about them and all the different cultures all at the same time. And I was like, oh, Kamakuchi. Of course, the boys were like, Mouth of God sounds way more metal of a title than Kamakuchi.
It does. But I mean, that's cool. I mean, there's like a whole backstory behind this song that I wouldn't have known about by just listening to it. But it's cool. Cool. It sounds like it's reaching people. It sounds like it's going like even a deeper level than what you may hear or read on the surface. So that's pretty rad. That's good stuff. It's a great video too, by the way. It's up on YouTube right now. I'll be posting links to it, of course.
Yeah, Barry just put that out. I mean, our friend Naveed was filming for Barry up in the Northeast when we were just on tour with Avatar, and then came back and filmed some shows here in Orlando, coming back, and put that together pretty quick. And it's a lot of the live energy of live shows and touring and just us, being crazy on stage and allowing all that energy to come through.
And of course, I know there were some issues with Jarrett just joining the band, and I remember April from Auditory Armory, also a former guest on the show, substituted a few times, when you guys were in between guitarists, but now Jeremiah's in the mix, totally. So there's a little bit of a personnel thing there, but I think you guys got all that figured out, so that's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, everything works out exactly how it's supposed to.
Very cool.
And so, it was fun. I love April. I love it when she pops in because we sneak things in, like singing. I have a song called Bedlam on my Mad to Love album, and she loves doing the harmonies. So when we played the show together, she's like, "Let's do Bedlam." I'm like, yeah. So we did Bedlam together with the two-part harmonies.
I was at that show. I saw that, and it was more of an acoustic thing. And I know you guys have done stuff for like when they had the Orlando Strong fundraiser earlier this year, because of the shooting and all that. So that was an important thing as well. So it must be interesting having all this back catalog in terms of how to work in the acoustic material with what the band's doing now. Right. And it's pretty cool to have a little bit of versatility in there, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes it, I like shows that are different. I like to focus on what we're always doing in the forward momentum, but of course, I love a good acoustic song every now and then, and it connects everything to the history. But yeah, I should release all the stuff I did in Japan. I mean, I released Origami Girls albums and different things, or
is there anywhere like online that stuff is that people could find, or is it just it just hasn't been put out there yet?
I should do something about that and release it. I mean, there's videos on YouTube of Origami Girls. I mean, you have to probably find it through, Miss Meka Nism or myself.
Gotcha.
And we had a MySpace and different things. We had MySpace for a while. I think our websites are down. But I think we got really inspired. Origami Girls doing a little reunion and playing just a couple weeks ago in Japan, or last month. So everybody over there wanted to see more Origami Girls, and we did a Florida tour before with Origami Girls, so everybody over here was asking.
Oh, wow.
So I'm wondering if we should do something, either just like telling the story of Origami Girls and releasing actually all that music and those videos properly, or doing a little mini reunion, at least a video, at least to show, because we were Facebook Living just the little bit we did in Japan.
Yeah.
And I love the response. So, people were getting excited about that. And it was a lot of fun. It's different. It's not, each culture has nothing like that. There's no, or a Japanese girl, American girl, combination, in existence, so it's like we are, coming together in a really special cultural bridge way, and we have Kizuna, we have heart to heart connection. We are we are truly sisters,
nice.
Yukari and I. So, and then even Eri-chan, who came to America with us, she wasn't our full-time drummer, but she's a wicked good drummer on her own right. She's with the same studio that I was recording the album in, and she has a band called Penumbra and Yellow Color Tester and different things. So there's just really high caliber musicians that I get to work with in Japan too. I mean, obviously here, I love my band and I love the caliber of musicians I get to work with, but in Japan. Like these players, like they're just deadly good. And I love eccentric talent. You know, I love people that are not your typical run of the mill style. You know, artists. I love people who are really stretching the boundaries of what you know as music, as sound, as art, as expression. So definitely. I'm lucky.
Did that play any like role in why you wanted to come back to the States in 2010? Was it just like you felt like maybe you just wanted to expand a little bit and try something back home? Or,
Absolutely. It wasn't coming back home. I was coming back home to visit. I had a job offer in Berlin with a theater company, so I was heading to Europe. And I haven't made it to Europe yet. I mean, I've been in England and Ireland for school, but I haven't made it to Europe, so that's one of the goals. That's probably one of the biggest goals, is just to hit Europe. Because I know that everyone around the world always compares their sounds to European bands.
Were you going for your BFA?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Cool. Have you done like acting and
yes,
more theater and stuff like that?
I have. I got disenchanted. I mean, I was definitely into theater, but I'm a female who can sing, dance, and act, and it wasn't anything special. And I can do tech and I can do different things. So it was kind of like I would get all the comic roles. I would play all these, strange characters or do the, different things. But it's, I'm never going to get the full dramatic lead parts on a regular basis,
What were some of your favorite productions or roles to do?
I mean, that's a hard one because I think my greatest role is being myself and creating my character in Meka Nism. So that's my favorite because I get to make my costumes or have other friends do it with me.
You get to make your own music. That's another thing.
Make my own music. I get to say something, I get to speak from my heart.
Yeah, it's a different kind of expression rather than reading someone else's lines, obviously. But
yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, again, that's another thing that probably not. I'm guessing not a lot of people knew about you. What are some other what are some other things out there that people might not know about Meka Nism?
I liked pantomime and / Buto dance in Japan. So I must like being painted white and making funny faces at people. I think that's definitely true. Do you know Japanese Buto dance? I love Japanese Buto dance. Oh my God, please look it up. It's so good.
Is it similar to like, to pantomime, or is it just
like... Well, kind of. I mean, it does tell a story. Mm-hmm. They're more like ghost dancers. Japanese Buto dance is like ghost dancers. If you seen your music video, Bring the Sun Back, I literally trained like 12 of my friends for 6 months in Buto dance.
Oh, wow.
Not that I'm an expert, but I took a lot of classes and I love it. Cool. One of the few things that I have pictures up of Japan, I need to put all my photos up from Japan, is Ima Tenko doing a performance art piece. She was my teacher of Buto dance.
Oh, cool.
And it's fascinating. I love weird performance art.
And you're painted in white while doing this?
Yeah, you're typically painted in white while doing this.
Because I've heard of like kabuki theater, because people have used that to describe bands like Kiss and everything that I grew up listening to, and that it was said that was a partial inspiration for it, where everyone's sort of in whiteface. Is that sort of a similar thing to Buto?
I mean, it's from the same culture. Kabuki theater. Kabuki theater is very old, old art form in Japan. Buto like dance is very neo. It's very modern, postmodern, like gotcha. 1950s on. It was like after the war. It was a healing form. It's kind of shamanic, actually, in that.
Really?
A lot of the mission statements, though not everyone's aware of this, is they'd go to places that suffered in the world, mm-hmm. and they'd literally heal it by expressing the terror of the earth and like let it come through them and be released. So it can be very terrifying at times looking at this dance, because it looks like people are like having fits and like contorting their faces strangely and
almost like a seizure kind of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. That would, at moments. And then sometimes it's very beautiful or just very spooky. It's definitely dancing with spirits. So it's definitely a lot of ghost dancing almost. Like it's a dance of darkness. So it's not like beautiful ballet that's all refined and pretty and fluffy and frilly.
Classy.
It's very intense, emotional.
Sure.
Just pure insanity, passion coming out. And obviously I'm very attracted to that. I think it's very authentic. I find the beauty in it.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's expressive. It's trying to convey a particular kind of thing, and it's just another form of self-expression. So there you go, man. Learning about Buto dance. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'm gonna look it up because it sounds pretty wild.
You're gonna love it.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. So you guys have like maybe a couple other shows for the rest of the month.
No. We did our last show of the year.
That's right. You guys just did The Haven recently.
With September Morning, great band.
Right.
And we just kind of took that as like a very fun way because we had just done the Kink Festival, but we wanted kind of a local home, everybody come and just hang out, casual show. It was awesome. A lot of friends got to come out and just party, like really enjoy the energy. Mm-hmm. It was a wonderful show, I have to admit, and I loved September Morning, and they were just very impressive. And it was a good show as well, and all the bands that got to play, but I just enjoyed it. And it was a good, like, ending party to, like, the cycle of the year, and yesterday was the new moon, and we started writing the new album, and we're getting the momentum started. So we're going to spend the next, however long it takes, few months, working on the new album. And I want it, to be, as beautifully charged with all of our passion as possible. We're definitely trying to make it as high caliber as possible and really give something worth listening to and experiencing to the world, the people that care about it and will connect with it and have a good impact on their lives.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Are there going to be any like live shows, while you're doing this, or are you guys just going to be like strictly focused in the studio, or?
We're going to be strictly focused in the studio.
Well, that's probably smart.
I mean, I have a couple acoustic appearances or some, performance art things here and there. But this is the time to make the album, that we really want to make. I mean, we've been making progress over the years, but I'm really excited about making this album with such a great group of people. And this is really going to be something, special, and we're going to make sure it is by putting all of our hard work and all of our intention, into it for really being charged with something special. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Sounds like you got a plan. Is it going to be like a full length or maybe an EP or?
EP, because I mean we are still self-funded, so it's smarter just to do EPs.
I agree.
and not waste any time with it. I mean, if someone if we have support in the future to help pay for full-length records, awesome. We'll make sure that there's no wasted space on there either.
Sure.
But no filler, just exactly what needs to be heard, exactly what needs to be created at this stage in the universe. And get it done, not make it any more complicated than it needs to be, because I'm sure we'll complicate it enough because we're musicians.
Right. So. Yeah. That's what we do. That's our thing.
Yep.
That's awesome, though. I mean, it sounds like you guys got a lot of big plans, possibly a Japanese tour in next year. We don't know, but I mean, I'm sure.
Who knows? Yeah.
But it sounds like you got a lot of things going on here stateside as well. So.
Of course.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember,
Thanks,
and the funny thing is, you never know what's going to happen at a Meka Nism show. I remember last time I saw you guys when April was playing, things got a little nuts. Jarrett and Bobby and all the guys started ripping their shirts off, jumping on the bar, and it was just out of control. But in a very fun and entertaining way.
You're always up for having fun. I mean, that was Jarrett's first show with us, and he was just jumping in full force. Yeah. So I think that and that was a blast. I mean, it's every show is different. You never know what to expect. So,
I mean, and that's Bobby. I mean, he was just in rare form that night. So he's that charismatic where it works out for sure.
I mean, we have a good time. It's good people. I love our community. I love getting to play with of all our friends and having such crazy experiences. But it's only going to keep getting better because, we have a lot to do. We have a lot of awesome things to create and awesome shows to play all over the world, and make that happen. And enjoy every moment of it because otherwise there's no point.
Very good.
You must enjoy it.
Of course. Wow. I mean, you have to now, especially if you're going to take that tone. I'm
Yeah.
a little frightened right now. Not gonna lie. You guys will be touring the world and elsewhere. I love it. So one last thing before we wrap up. I know that your band and my band was on the Alicorp Central Florida local rock documentary. That, I mean, we both our bands shot footage for it along with Murderfly and Soul Switch and Traverser.
Yeah.
The documentary didn't end up coming out. As I understand it, it's going to be split into like separate releases. Each band is going to have its own thing, and then maybe that'll be like come together in like a box set sort of thing. I'm not sure exactly what Al has planned for it, but that must be a pretty good feeling being asked to be on something like that, and something that not only showcases our area but possibly gives you another platform to promote the band.
Well, yeah, but really our community. I mean, it's not just about each individual band, though we're all, great list of bands, all
Sure.
Great bands doing something special. And what an honor to be part of that. But, it shows our community. I think that's to be said. And it's not just the musicians on stage. It's our community. It is Al. It is everyone else involved. And I think this documentary could really show that and show what, cities outside of like the main cities, like people expect that out of LA and New York or
Sure.
Seattle. But I think we do have a really cool voice here in Central Florida, in Orlando. I think we do have a hidden gem that people aren't quite aware of yet. And we might be a future big it city for the music scene. I know that people don't expect metal out of sunny Florida, but, we're the home of Marilyn Manson and a whole slew of Trivium, our local boys.
Sure.
From Orlando, which are good metal, and death, that started death metal. Bobby's still playing around, who's, just everybody. I mean, we have a legendary scene here for darker genre musics.
Mm-hmm.
Musics. It's a cool word.
It is.
I like it.
No, we'll use it. But
I like it.
There have been a lot of different musics that have come out of Florida and Orlando. Not just the heavy metal stuff, but also some more mainstream rock stuff as well. And so that's
mainstream rock, a lot of pop, obviously a lot of pop.
Sure, yeah, no, but I mean, I definitely agree with you in that stuff like that, I think, brings people together and brings other bands together that other musicians and other people that wouldn't have necessarily interacted with one another before that. And I've noticed that throughout different events that have happened since we got approached about that documentary. You've seen a lot more people going to each other's shows, and you have like a regular crew of people who you'll see around at different things. And there is sort of a sense of a community there, even though it's not like necessarily like a hard line, like, okay, we're locked into what Alicorp is doing, even though Alicorp has been excellent to all of us, and it has really consistently put on really good events. So I'm sure that whenever the documentaries come out in whatever form they do, I'm sure it'll be great. And even though I know we all shot our stuff, a while ago, I'm sure there'll be chances to update things.
We need to update some stuff, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and to fix a few things.
I think a lot of people working with them, Kat and I think even Jennifer Reese. I mean, a lot of great people in a lot of different ways all coming together. I'm curious to see how we all can work together more to elevate our scene, and I think that they're definitely the ones asking that question. So great question to start us all out and to bringing us all together. Like, how do we elevate our scene? How do we make everyone else know about the shows to come out to and know how exciting the music is that that is being created here, and really getting the word out to people who haven't heard about it yet, because we're just watching Netflix all the time,
Right. Absolutely. And I think if one of us succeeds, that shines a bigger light on this area, this part of the state. And I think that possibly opens up doors for other people to come through as well. So I think that's a good thing. That's
what it should happen. It should absolutely happen.
Ideally.
I mean, Seattle scene, I mean, you get one band or a couple bands starting to break open something and pave a path. then it should absolutely come back and give a pathway for
historically these things have happened before. So yeah.
So let's make that happen. We're the ones who imagine the universe, so let's make sure that happens.
There you go.
And it looks like we're all doing that. So hey, I'm looking forward to that all happening.
I love it.
Heck yeah.
Sounds good. Well, anyway, Meka, this has been totally awesome.
Amazing talking to you.
Yeah, I know meka.nism.com is your website. Where else can people...
Meka-nism.com.
Meka-nism,
M-E-K-A, 2 words.
Yes.
So Meka, M-E-K-A, -NISM.com.
Sorry, I meant to say dash. I said dot. It's late. What are you going to do?
Dots are fun. It's like ... No, it's Meka-nism.
Yes.
Dash is more heroic.
Yes.
Yes.
there. It's late, but you know what? This is real stuff. I'm not going to edit it out. So that's just how it goes.
I love it. Yes.
It's my podcast, damn it.
Which is awesome, by the way. Thank you for doing podcasts, because it's another way that the community comes alive.
I hope so. I mean, for me, it's just kind of an excuse to talk with my friends. So it kind of works out.
Well said.
So that works out well. Where can they find you on social media?
Well, of course, there's Facebook, and everything else. We have Meka Nism, 2 words, M-E-K-A, space N-I-S-M on the Facebook and the Instagram and the Spotify and the iTunes and everything else in the world. Personal page is Meka Kyoto, Kyoto, if you want to hit me up and ask me questions. But yeah, or find me at local shows, because I'm sure I'll be going out and seeing Vertebraker and all the other bands that I can possibly get out to see whenever possible. Yeah. So yeah, and invite me to shows. If other people invite me to shows, I love going out.
Sure.
Whenever I can. So
sure, she's hard to miss. She's got the big red dreadlocks. You'll find her.
It's true. And I laugh really loud.
That's true, and that's a good thing. Laughter's good. Yeah. Anyways, Meka, it has been a total blast talking to you. Thank you so much for doing this. And
thanks, Jack.
Thank you so much to Miss Meka Nism. Just man, what a great talk. Such an incredible, unique, talented artist, and a really cool person as well. She's into a lot of different stuff, as you could tell. Shamanism and Buto dance, stuff that I knew nothing about, but you definitely learn all kinds of different things here. And like I said, the music scene is filled with all different kinds of people, and that's what I love about this sort of thing. You get to find out things that I would have never been able to find out, besides just running into her at shows and everything. So thank you, Meka, for doing this. Go and check out her band, www.meka-nism.com. Meka and her band are really unique, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff here in Orlando, so definitely go check them out if you can. As for me, I don't have too much in the way of upcoming events. Vertebraker just finished up a really cool festival, Black Saturday Fest. In fact, I recorded some pieces of interviews and clips from that festival, which I'll probably put on the next episode, and maybe just try and fill some time in with that. I've got a few interviews with some of the artists from Black Saturday Fest, but again, it doesn't really. I think it's probably under an hour or under a half hour. So if you have any questions for me, now is definitely the time to get them in, because I might have like a little Q&A thing. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you could always tweet me, sort of like #AskJack. I don't know if that's a thing, but we can make that a thing right now. But yeah, no, as far as upcoming events with Vertebraker, we don't really have too much in the works right now. We're kind of taking December off for the holidays, trying to plan out what we're going to do next year. But of course, when we figure that out, you'll hear it here first. Definitely hope you and your family are having a great holiday, and definitely want to take this time to wish you a Merry Christmas, or whatever you may be celebrating at this time of year. Hopefully you're with family and friends and with people who care about you, because that's really what this time is all about. As always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at JackXConnor, like me on Facebook at facebook.com/JackConnorMusic. Feel free to check out the band, www.vertebraker.net. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, make sure you email me at jackconnorpodcast@gmail.com, or tweet me with the #PhoenixReport. If you are listening to this on YouTube or iTunes, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, go back and listen to all the other episodes. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Phoenix Report. I am Jack Connor. We'll see you again real soon. Bye.